Welcome back, everybody, to another dicondissectional production hosted by Deathstroke9. Today we're going to be reacting to Emerson, Lake and Palmer Brain Salad Surgery. In this video, you'll see me go through side one, but I'm listening to the whole album all in one sitting and then editing it into two separate videos. And this is actually not, I don't know, it's going to be interesting seeing exactly how this is cut because my original intention was to do Carnival 9, the whole thing in one video, and then everything else on the album in another video, since that's how it looked like it was going to be cut. But then I looked at the actual album, and on side one there is part of Carnival 9. So we'll see. But anyway, welcome back. If you are new here, my name's Daniel, and here we react to music, and yeah, that's all you need to know. At the end we do research on the artist and just dive deep into some awesome music. Now, Tarkus was absolutely mind-blowing, and this was the most requested thing, was specifically Carnival 9, but I want to do the entire album, and I've said I've wanted to do the entire album for a while now, and here I am. Before I get into actually listening to it, I wanted to show off the record, which was recently gifted to me so that I could show you guys this and also have it for the full tactile experience. So on the back we've got Brain Salad Surgery. It's awesome. The cover art is incredible. I believe the person who did Alien, who made stuff for Alien, made the cover art for this. Yeah, so cool. It's showing that there's an entrance, right? We see this thing, which is not exactly what it seems to be as it opens up, and there's this inside. Then there are inserts and the album itself. Let's take a look. First, we have the album, and we're going to be listening, or in this video, assuming it doesn't get blocked, you will be hearing side one. Side one has, here's the beautiful record itself. Side one has Jerusalem, Tokatta, Still You Turn Me On, Benny the Bouncer, and Carnival 9 First Impression Part 1. Then on side 2 is the rest of Carnival 9. So that's how we're going to be listening to it. Then finally we have some inserts, I believe. Let's see what we've got here. What strange and unusual devices are held within these walls, these inner chambers. So here we have this. On the back, this little booklet. Very interesting. Does it... Okay, so it opens up. Oh, wow. Well, this is interesting. Apologies if this is taking really long. I think we've got all the lyrics here, and we've also got images of our favorite band members. So, yeah. That is really cool. I want to look at all the lyrics as we go, but I think I'm going to save that for later. All right. I might edit some of that whole spiel out, but let's get into it now.
Time,
beginning. It sounded almost like a hymn. Don't want to say anything right now. I just want to keep listening to it. But overall impression so far is like sounds almost like a horror movie. Like that transition and then that beginning felt very uncomfortable almost. It was really interesting how they like that was perfect. Like that could be a horror film's theme music. And yeah, before starting this, pretty much the first time someone asked me to react to Carnival, you kind of get this impression of a different word, which is Carnival, and this is making me think of like an evil Joker house carnival thing, but this is like an introduction to it. Like we're in a stadium and we're seeing people come in, and there's like a light on the ringleader almost. That's what I've got so far. But yeah, loving it so far. Let me bring it back. Let's keep going. What the hell's happening? Was that the end? Dang it. Keep going.
You wanna be an angel, you wanna be a star, you wanna play some magic on my guitar. You wanna be a poet, you wanna be my string. You could be anything. Do you wanna be the lover of another? Undercover, you could even be the man on the moon. Wanna be the player? You wanna be the string? Let me tell you something. It just don't mean a thing. You see, it really doesn't matter when you're buried in disguise by the dark glass on your eyes. Though your flesh has crystallized, still you turn me on. Still you turn me on. You turn me on.
It's really pretty.
You wanna be the pillow where I lay my head. You wanna be the feathers lying in my bed. You wanna be a color cover magazine. Create a scene. Every day a little cider, a little matter. Someone get me a ladder. You wanna be the singer, wanna be the song. Let me tell you something. You just couldn't be more wrong. You see, I really have to tell you that it all gets so intense. From my experience, it just doesn't seem to make sense. Still, turn me on.
It's like an awesome love song in the middle of this.
You turn me on.
All right.
Then he was the bouncer at the Pallady dance. He'd slash a granny's face up, given half a chance. He'd sew you back to pieces, all through less than half a quid. He thought he was the meanest until he met with Savage Sid. Now Sid, he was a greaser with some nasty boots. He pulled a pint of Guinness over Benny's boots. Benny looked at Sydney, Sydney stared right back in his eye. Sydney chose a switchblade and Benny got a cold meat pie. Oh, what a terrible sight. Much to the people's delight. What hell of a fight! They dragged him from the wreckage of the pally in bits. They tried to stick together all the bits that would fit, but some of him was missing. A part of him arrived too late. So now he works for Jesus as the pastor at St. Peter's Gate.
That was awesome. And so it begins, my friends. I've been wanting to listen to this for a long time. Let's go. Last time I pause it in this particular video, but all right, there's a lot that I kind of want to say about just musically this. Okay, so we've listened to lots of prog rock on this channel, and right now I'm of the opinion that stuff like this, Thick as a Brick, let me think. Either Close to the Edge. Close to the Edge is like, yeah, okay. Let me think. And I'm thinking of Yes, obviously. Those type of albums are like the epitome of prog rock and experimental progressive music. Like this right here, this entire album so far has been pretty much, you could probably look up experimental progressive music in the dictionary. This is taking it to a logical extreme, and like really, it's really interesting how there's so much to say, and the amount of technical talent that goes into not only creating music this complex, but also just evoking this type of emotion. You know, like I've been to carnivals or festivals before, and Like some of the music here kind of evokes some of that feeling, although it also adds an undertone of like darkness to it or evil to it, which is very interesting, and I like it a lot. Now, this thing is called First Impression, okay? And I think that I'm going to go out on a limb. I don't know if this is correct at all. It probably isn't, to be honest. But first impression, second impression, third impression, right? So he's getting his first look at the carnival. He's seeing it. And at first, so far, this part of the album has felt relatively happy when you compare it to the rest of it, which has been more weird, crazy, insane, and in one or two parts scary are words that are closer to describing it, except for that very first song, which sounded very like I was listening to a hymn at a church. Maybe not music-wise, but in the way he was singing the lyrics and what he was saying, at least what I kind of gleaned what he was saying. And I'm wondering if the first impression is going to be good, and then the second impression is going to be like, oh no, I'm starting to see with the eyes of like cynicism, or the veil is being lifted. And then the third impression is like he's maybe seeing it for all of its full evil glory, or maybe he'll join forces with it or something. I don't know. I'm going off on tangents now. So let me bring it back some more. Let's go. 3, 2, 1. I'm not going to pause it again in side 1.
We'll be there.
I'll be there. So, when I'm recording this, I've already listened to the entire album, and I'm going to be editing in these analysis portions for side 1 and side 2 for anyone who is not aware of how I've changed up how I'm doing full albums, where I'm listening to the whole thing uninterrupted first, then I'll cut it into separate videos and add the analysis stuff afterwards, so I have the context of the entire album. Thank you for joining me. Let's get into this. So the first song on the album is Jerusalem. Now, Jerusalem is a cover of a traditional English hymn given a rock arrangement by Emerson, Lake and Palmer. The lyrics come from a poem an early 19th century poet named William Blake, an early 19th century poem by William Blake, a renowned English romantic poet. The poem was originally set to music by Hubert Parry in the early 20th century. Parry's hymn has since become overwhelmingly popular in England and now enjoys status as an unofficial national anthem of England, though England has no official anthem, using instead the British anthem God Save the Queen. It was upon this musical adaptation that ELP based their musical arrangement. They released Jerusalem as a single in 1973, but the conservative establishment at the time forbade it from radio play, disapproving of arranging a hymn into a rock song. That's BS and sucks, but whatever, okay. Interesting. So yeah, let's see what we've got here. Now, this song was 2 minutes and 44 seconds long. It was an interesting opening track. Definitely thought it was interesting the way that... All right, I just paused the video for a second to go make sure that I had the right thing, because this says it's off the album The Best of Emerson, Lake and Palmer, which I guess since it was released as a single, that kind of makes sense. But yes, it is the name of the first song on Brain Salad Surgery. So, here are the lyrics. And did those feet in ancient time walk upon England's mountains green? And was the holy Lamb of God on England's pleasant pastures seen? And did the countenance divine shine forth upon our clouded hills? And was Jerusalem builded there among these dark satanic mills? Bring me my bow of burning gold. Bring me my arrows of desire. Bring me my spear, O clouds unfold. Bring me my chariot of fire. I will not cease from mental fight, nor shall my sword sleep in my hand, till we have built Jerusalem in England's green and pleasant land. That is a very interesting hymn. Because of the cultural significance of Jerusalem, that's an interesting take on that. Okay. So it's relatively straightforward. And in the context of the album, I feel like it's showing where whoever the protagonist is starting from. I think it's showing they're like, I don't know, it's like they're going to a carnival. That's what eventually happens, or everything gets very crazy. Maybe things that are not like super moral are happening. I don't know. It seems like this would be like a foundation that it starts, and then it starts to spiral out of control in other directions. So it's, in one way, an opener to an album that eases us into it, and it also kind of shows who the main character is and how they're, I guess, conservative in the way that they live their life, and they're probably religious or just, I don't know. That's what the song, when I was listening to it and then heard the very next song, that's what it made me think of, but I could be wrong. And then the actual lyrics, we have basically a plea for Jerusalem or something of biblical significance to be built or to happen in England. And they're like, we'll be this way as well. We'll have this too. I will not cease from my... So it draws on a couple different verses. It talks about a chariot of fire. Talks about, the fight is not only with the sword, but also with the mind and the soul, right? Will not cease from mental fight, nor shall my sword sleep in my hand, till we have built Jerusalem in England's green and pleasant land. Yeah, relatively straightforward song. Then the next is Tokatta. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly. Tokatta. And there is zero information on this track. To me, this song is a taste of what is to come. And musically, this entire album is experimental prog rock at its finest. I think I might have said that at some point while I was recording before, but I totally meant it. It's incredible. It's amazing. It's so strange, and they do such a good job of evoking feelings with this album in a similar way to when I listened to Genesis and The Lamb Lies Down on Broadway, and I was like, this is making me physically feel things in my body. Like, it was very weird. This had a similar effect. There were multiple parts that were like scary, almost terrifying. And the whole thing had a feeling to it that I kind of let come over me. And since I love drama and I consider myself to be at least something of an actor, like when that part started happening, I was like, ooh, here we go. Oh, where is it? Where's the monster? You know, something's chasing us. We're in a carnival, and there's Pennywise in the background. You know, this song really, or this instrumental really started that side of the album, and started the weird and crazy wild ride that this album was. Gave us a taste of what Carnival 9 would have to come. I wish there was more information here, but we'll look at information on the whole album in the next video when I do some research on the Wikipedia page. So, yeah, that's Tokatta. Let's look up what that means. I wonder if it means something musical. Virtuoso piece of music, typically for a keyboard or plucked string instrument, featuring fast-moving, lightly fingered or otherwise virtuosic passages or sections with or without imitative or fugal interludes, generally emphasizing the dexterity of the performer's fingers. Definitely. Oh my goodness. We need to do live ELP. Lots of people have told me to check out live ELP. Like Tarkus live, just need to experience that, at least in video form, if I can, because, yeah, just listening to it and imagining someone doing all that is mind-boggling. All right. Next on the album, we have Still You Turn Me On. I just decided something. All right. Since Carnival 9 on here is all put into one song, we're going to save it until next video to go over the meaning of it, okay? Because, yeah, I know that part 1 of the first impression is on side 1, but I'm going to save that for the next video, the analysis of it. All right, hope that's okay. Let's keep going. The working title of Brain Salad Surgery was Whip Some Skull on Yer, but that was changed to Brain Salad Surgery after a line in the same years from Dr. John's Right Place, Wrong Time. Brain Salad Surgery is such a perfect name. All right, Still You Turn Me On is very interesting and very different, although still had that weird and strange undertone to it. Do you want to... Actually, first let's look at this. One of the most famous songs written by the band Emerson, Lake and Palmer. It is primarily performed by Greg Lake on acoustic guitar, with Keith Emerson occasionally joining in on keyboards, and a complete absence of Carl Palmer. The only acoustic-focused song on the album, Brain Salad Surgery, it was considered but did not end up as a single release. Huh. Interesting. Once again, no real information from anybody else. All right. Do you want to be an angel? Do you want to be a star? Do you want to play some magic on my guitar? Do you want to be a poet? Do you want to be my string? You could be anything. Do you want to be the lover of another undercover? You could even be the man on the moon. Do you want to be the player? Do you want to be the string? Let me tell you something. It doesn't mean a thing. You see, it really doesn't matter when you're buried in disguise by the dark glass on your eyes, though your flesh has crystallized. Still you turn me on. What? Wait. So this whole first part here, this is weird. And I'm gonna say this, and this is always true, but I feel like I should say it right now. This is all just my opinion and my impression of the song, and maybe my first impression will be different than my second and third impression, you know? Well, technically it's my second impression by this point, but still, yeah, anything I say is just my opinion, but those lyrics are a little interesting to me. So first he's asking, do you want to be something more than basically what you are? You know, like, I feel like maybe everyone wants to try and do something, you know? Do you want to be an angel? Do you want to be a star, a poet? You could be anything, you know? And that's what we're told all the time. You can be whatever you want to be. I kind of highly doubt that. But, yeah, you can try. People can try. I think I'm still of the opinion that if you try hard enough and are willing to sacrifice anything that needs to be sacrificed to achieve your goals, you will, unless the whole world is against you, which in most cases I don't think it will be. But anyway, so he basically says you can be whatever you want to be, but then says, do you want to be my string? Almost like I'm controlling you. And then, let me tell you something, it doesn't mean anything. So he's like, don't try to do that. You see, it doesn't really matter. You trying to be anything more than what you currently are is you like putting on a disguise. Then he says, by the dark glass on your eyes, though your flesh has crystallized, still you turn me on. This is a very interesting song. Because the lines, by the dark glass on your eyes, though your flesh has crystallized, almost makes me think that are they dead? Like, what that's making me think of is the cover of the album, with what is obviously, or looks like it's obviously, a person in a coffin, some type of metal coffin, right? And then inside you've got the person who's, let me see, are their eyes open? No, they are not. Okay. Whose flesh has crystallized and all that. So, I don't know. I don't know about that one, Chief. We'll let me think. There's actually another thing that I thought of, but let's keep going. Do you want to be the pillow where I lay my head? Do you want to be the feathers lying in my bed? Do you want to be the cover of a magazine? Create a scene. Every day a little sadder, every day a little madder. Someone get me a ladder. Do you want to be the singer? Do you want to be the song? Let me tell you something. You just couldn't be more wrong. You see, I really have to tell you that it all gets so intense. From my experience, it just doesn't seem to make sense. Still you turn me on. Still you turn me on. Still you turn me on. Now, let's sit back for a second and think about how later it sounds almost like a robotic voice in Carnival 9. And do the strings and stuff, like the Puppet Master type lyrics, and then you're like dead, but I'm using you to turn myself on. Could that possibly be a computer talking? Probably not. It does sound like it could just be an innocent love song. But I'm not so sure. It sounds different. It also sounds like he's going insane, or whoever the main character is going insane. So, yeah, there's a lot of weird stuff going on in this song. I'm not sure exactly what I think this is about until I've read the rest of the lyrics. So let's keep going. Musically and the way he was singing, it sounds like a great. It sounds like a great love song, you know? Like, that's what it sounded. It sounded very romantic, but Brain Salad Surgery is the most ambitious and realized of ELP's album covers, featuring a biomechanical painting by H.R. Giger. The original LP opened up to reveal a woman's face, as shown below. The cover was controversial, as Brain Salad Surgery is obscure slang for oral sex. Huh. Interesting. Okay, then. Let's continue. Then the final song, or the final song not really the final song, but the final song we're looking at today, or in this video, is called Benny the Bouncer. And this is where I think we start to lean into the next, the feeling of the rest of the album. Now, Still You Turn Me On was a bit of a break from everything, from the craziness, and then we're just going to plunge right in. So this song felt very, it was like a character song. He was singing in an accent. There was piano that was sounding like, you know, it was in a bar. Everything, yeah. Let's see. This song, co-written by Greg Lake and Peter Sinfield, who worked together with the band King Crimson, has an incredibly rare vocal performance by Carl Palmer and a comedic lyrical style. It's a sharp contrast to the more serious tone of the rest of the album, especially the epic Carnival 9, which comes directly after the song. Benny was the bouncer. He'd slash your granny's face up given half a chance. He'd sell you back the pieces, all for less than half a quid. He thought he was the meanest until he met Savage Sid. So it's kind of a story. Now, Sydney was a greaser with some nasty roots. He poured a pint of Guinness over Benny's boots. Benny looked at Sydney. Sydney stared right back in his eye. Sydney chose a switchblade, and Benny got a cold meat pie. It's funny because when they said half a quid, I thought of Sweeney Todd, and then he said meat pie afterward. Oh, what a terrible sight, much to the people's delight. One hell of a fight. Sydney grabbed an hatchet, buried it in Benny's head. The people gasped as he bled. The end of a Ted? Well, they dragged him from the wreckage of the Palace in bits. They tried to stick him together, all the bits that would fit, but some of him was missing and part of him arrived too late. So now he works for Jesus as the bouncer at St. Peter's Gate. That's hilarious. So the song also links, I think, to the idea of it being a carnival and everything being like a spectacle, right? So what a terrible sight, the people's delight. A fight breaks out between two characters, Benny and Savage Sydney, while the other people watch the fight without intervening, instead enjoying the sight. Then the comedic song ends with a dark ending. Benny is murdered and is suggested to now be working in heaven as the bouncer there, which is just also dark. So, fun song. Yeah, that song was really fun. And then so begins Carnival 9 or Carnival 9. So yeah, stay tuned for the rest of that in the next video. Thank you very much for joining me. If you're new to the channel, consider subscribing. I don't know exactly what this did, if it helped or made anything weird. I'm pretty sure now that it's close to me, it's probably really loud. But thank you for joining me. I appreciate it. I will see you guys soon. Deathstroke 9 out. We are Legion, my friends. Stay tuned for more videos and have an awesome day.